Well, welcome back to the den. Today we are entering the field with a true pioneer of systemic healing. He is a global facilitator, a prolific author, and a man who has spent 25 years ensuring the language of the soul remains one of integrity and honor. Please help me welcome Shavasti. Now, Shavasti, you recently put out a very powerful call regarding the corruption, and I do believe it, that's my word, and harm currently happening in the world of family constellations. And you spoke about the drama, with regards to the difference between the deep work and the abusive drama. And it is a conversation I, as a constellator, am so grateful that you have opened up and that I believe we desperately need to have. And I am honored to have you speak the truth with kindness here for my audience, which is now your audience because that's who they become. And so, welcome to my podcast, which is now yours as well. So, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Yeah, thank you to the den. I call I'm a Leo in astrology, so I call myself welcome to the den.
Welcome to the den.
Welcome to the den.
I'm a Libra when it comes to astrology, which I
Mm.
think also helps me as a facilitator as well, because as a Libran, I find it quite easy to see both sides of the story.
Oh, lovely.
And so it's not difficult for me to see the perpetrator as they are,
Ah.
as a human,
Mhm, mhm.
which takes me right into a story. And this is a really, really important story.
Please
This
share.
was a this was a constellation that I facilitated many, many years ago. And you know something? It wasn't really me. It was the client who did it. And it always is the client who did it. And so it was a constellation around the Holocaust.
Okay.
This client, both of her parents were the sole survivors of their families. So her mother was the sole survivor from her family, and the father was the sole survivor from his family. Mhm.
Okay.
So I took courage and I placed the camp commandant there, like the big perpetrator, the mean guy,
Right.
because there was a very strong identification there. Mhm. So a lot of things happen. I'm not going to go into too many details, but the
Mhm.
final movement was after I placed the camp commandant's family there to help her see that this is a human being. What he
Mm.
did was monstrous, no
Right.
doubt about that. What he did was monstrous, but he was still human. And so she slowly walked towards him,
Oh.
stroked his cheek with the back of her hand, and said to him, "Go home to your family. They need you more than I do."
Oh, my word.
And that constellation has stayed with me for more than 20 years because that encapsulates a deep inner movement. Because when that kind of movement takes place, the word forgiveness is completely impotent and meaningless.
Exactly.
It's completely impotent and meaningless because that movement doesn't have, I could only think of one word to describe it:
Mhm.
grace,
Oh,
grace,
right.
grace.
Beautiful. Oh.
The hand of grace entered the room. Mhm. And so for me, my work has always been about encouraging these deeper movements, moving away from the complexities of too many details about stories and complaining about this and complaining about that. And I can think of another story. Is it okay if I tell
Oh,
stories?
yeah, please. And like I was yeah, please do.
So there was another constellation, because I really like to get to the heart of the work. There was another constellation that took place in a Muslim majority country. Mhm.
Mhm.
And in a moment, it will become relevant as to obvious as to why that's relevant. So the client came And the three siblings that were born before her all died as children. And so there was a huge amount of grief in the family. And in that moment, when I looked at her and I looked at the story and I set up the family,
Mhm.
I knew there was nothing meaningful that I could say. There was nothing. I, I resist offering platitudes, and I get very annoyed when I hear platitudes in such
Mhm.
situations. And I thought, what can I do here? And so I looked at the family, and I looked at my client, and I looked at the three children who had died. Everybody looked so somber, of course.
Mm. Of course.
And I simply asked somebody, what is the traditional prayer that you say for the dead in this situation? And somebody volunteered something. So I said, could you recite it for me? Mhm.
Mhm.
In the traditional language. And then one by one, several people stood up and joined in and recited this prayer. Then
Wow.
all of a sudden, the constellation came to life. The parents could see their children. The children could see each other. So nobody tried to fix it.
Mhm.
Nobody said anything to take it away. Nobody offered a platitude. Mhm. We just simply fully embraced the family in what was. And so they had been seen.
Right.
And so from that moment, the client felt free to live because now the family was alive again. They
Oh.
had been seen and embraced and acknowledged and taken into the heart of the group.
Mm.
And so I'm very much a believer in simplicity is the healing.
Right.
Simplicity is the healing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when we want to complicate things, when we want to tell very long, complicated stories, and when we attempt to heal 10 generations all at once, it just confuses everything.
Right.
And when we get out of the way and we allow simple movements to take place, that is when there is an opportunity for me to completely get out of the way and allow grace to do its thing. Allow grace to do its thing.
Mhm.
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 And so I often say to trainee facilitators that we don't speak healing sentences, they are spoken through us,
Beautiful.
that they emerge from the silence. Mhm.
Right. Right.
And that's the same with these simple healing movements. We allow ourselves to be moved by that which is greater than ourselves.
Mm.
Mhm. So no thinking involved, no strategizing involved, no figuring it out, no trying to figure out what do I say to make this client feel better. Just empty and open-hearted. Mhm. And that's how I like to approach my work.
Beautiful. Well, it definitely has been that for me when I have trained as little as I have and will be doing more with you. I know that for sure. But, I wanted to ask you, you've been doing this for, over 25 years. And what, for the audience, what was the original catalyst in the late 90s that, led you to Family Constellation Circle back when the work was still in its most raw form?
Mhm. Well, I was a client. I was estranged from my parents.
Okay.
I was looking for a solution to my own problems. So I was the client. I was
Mm.
the client for a while, for
Hmm.
quite a while. And I got to love the work. And the primary client in all of my work and the primary student in all of my work has been me,
Wow.
always. Never has been any different because I very much believe we teach what we're learning. We teach what we're learning. And so many times I'm standing in front of a group and I'm explaining something. And then there's a little part of my awareness that's out there looking at myself going, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't know that you knew that. because you become this empty vessel and you're in the moment and
I love
it
it.
moves you. You know, consolation work has been the greatest gift to me.
Mhm.
It has taught me about gentleness. It's taught me about kindness. It's taught me to be careful with my words. Mhm.
Mhm.
It has taught me to accept what is. Mhm. It has taught me that it's not my job to save anyone,
Right.
to rescue anyone, to fix everything. Mhm. And that perpetrators are people too. And
Absolutely.
that perpetrators are people too. Mhm. You know, when we weep for the perpetrators, when we weep for the lost ones,
Mhm.
we remind them that they still belong. Mhm.
Right.
So, my question is, what did the perpetrator do to their own soul? What damage did they do to themselves? Mhm. And as I've seen in constellations, and what damage have they done to their children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren? Mhm.
Right.
Because I've had the children and grandchildren of SS officers, Gestapo officers, Nazis,
Okay.
murderers. I've had them all as clients. Mhm. And I've had their victims and the descendants of their victims as clients. And one of the things that I've learned is that the descendants of the perpetrators and the descendants of the victims, they are no different. They are really no different. Mhm. And so, and it's still an ongoing process. It's still an ongoing process. There are still things that challenge me. Be
Right.
honest about that. You know, I I worked with a case of female circumcision, mhm,
Oh my. Okay.
where the clitoris is forcibly removed from a woman's body.
Right.
Um, that triggered the hell out of me. Yeah, but I was in that very neutral space and I worked with it.
Mhm.
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 But I had to go through my own process in the hotel afterwards, and I took it to somebody else the week afterwards. I said, "I need to talk through this."
Right.
And so it's not that I'm untriggerable, but it's seldom
Mhm.
at the moment,
Mhm.
seldom. And it's really about embracing everything in the heart.
Right.
I've really learned that the heart can bear it all. You know, we're so afraid of breaking our hearts, and I've concluded that maybe the only way for a heart to be open for it to break over and over and over and over again, instead of having this armor or shell around it
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
time. It's got to crack and break open. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so Constellations has taught me a lot of that. So I started as a client.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I had a lot to learn. I made a lot of mistakes in my early days. But as you probably know as a practitioner, that there are some things you can only learn by getting it wrong.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Been
you,
there, done it,
mhm,
still doing it.
yeah. And you look at what you did and go, well, that's in a lesson in what not to do. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and that's one of the beauties sometimes of going to colleagues. You look at something, you go, oh, that's a whole new perspective. I've never heard that. Or they do something else and you go, ooh, I would never do that. And they're both it's all learning material, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I was, thinking, in terms of listening to you through various means, your YouTubes and all the posts that you do, which I love, by the way, and I share them all the time. I was thinking about your love for Tai Chi because I too have a very deep fondness for it, and I was wondering, how does that practice of yielding help you discern when a representative is actually tapping into the field versus when they are just projecting their own ego?
Well, that's just really, mm, it's just something that I intuitively feel.
Mhm, mhm.
And some clients enjoy the opportunity to express their lower self
Okay.
in a safe environment. Mhm.
Mhm.
So this is my opportunity to get ugly, to get really, 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 really ugly, and nobody can point the finger of blame because hey, I'm in a role. So I've seen that happen, and I call it out, and I rein it in. Mhm.
Right.
So, and that really comes down to my feeling sense. I don't have a sense of rules about that because it's all on an individual basis. Some things I give space to a certain extent, but anything that borders on being harmful for the client, I certainly rein in on.
Okay.
It it's supposed to be an expansive experience. It's supposed to be a healing experience.
Right.
If the client walks away feeling completely battered and worse about themselves than when they arrived, then something has really gone amiss. I'm not wanting them to go home with a smile on their face and touching nirvana and bliss. We're not looking for that either. We're looking for something real and authentic.
Right.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm aware that there are certain individuals who and mm, who are looking for an opportunity to express something that they don't have the courage to express under normal circumstances. Mhm.
Okay.
So I become curious about that. So if I see a representative doing that, I'm alerted to that for when I get to work with them, and I inquire. Mhm.
Okay.
What do you hold in? What were you taught to hold in? Mhm. So there's that to it as well. There is that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and some people just derive negative pleasure from being mean.
Yes.
They
Yes.
derive negative pleasure from being mean, and I'm alert to that, and I call it out. Mhm. And I call it out. Yeah.
Good.
So there's that to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of Tai Chi, if you're interested in terms of what it gave me, I have a little
Mm-hmm.
story about Tai Chi as well.
Oh, please.
Um, and it's always about the teacher that pisses you off, because
Yes.
they're the good ones. They are the good ones. They are the good ones. So after I left South Africa in 2007, and so many people think I'm South African because I wrote my books in South Africa, but I'm actually British with mixed heritage.
Right.
Um, so after I left South Africa in 2007, I went to China for the better part of a year to learn Tai Chi. And I went to a school and that supposedly had a good reputation. And I was there for a couple of months. But it turns out that my teacher was an alcoholic and would turn up to class early in the morning drunk. And
Oh.
he started getting abusive. And I have a very low tolerance for that. So I
Mm.
decided to leave the school. And I found myself, so I went around town. I was in a small town in China and I tried to find myself another teacher. And this woman was recommended to me. To give a little bit of cultural context, very unusual for a woman to be a Tai Chi master in China.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And very unusual for this woman to have survived the Cultural Revolution of the 1980s as well, intact and not imprisoned, etc.
Right.
So I went to her school, and so as part of the interview, I had to be interviewed. I couldn't just walk in there with my money as an arrogant Westerner thinking, "Oh, I've got money and I can just
Mm.
do whatever I want."
Right.
So I had to be interviewed,
Yeah.
um, and so I did all of my movements with grace, and I was very confident, and I could see that she was completely and totally underwhelmed.
Okay.
I could see the disappointment on her face,
Oh my.
and she said to me, she said, "Well, I'll take you as a student, but you can't join my class. You have to
Oh,
work on your own." And I went,
okay.
"Uh-huh." So I felt rejection. And she made me do the same movement, just one movement for hours per day for two whole, and I want to swear here, two whole effing weeks. And I was furious.
Yep.
It was one of the biggest gifts of my life. Slow down,
Right.
slow down. Mhm. And when I objected to it, she told me a story. She said, a long time ago, a Tai Chi master went to a village and taught the local villagers some Tai Chi movements.
Right.
And one day they saw him packing his bags and he was on his way, and they ran to him and said, "Where are you going, Master? You haven't taught us all the movements yet." He said, "I've taught you enough for now. I'll be back in 2 or 3 years.
Oh my.
Practice what I've taught you until I get back." And so that was the lesson. That was the lesson. And that's how I work when I facilitate constellations. Mhm.
Mhm.
Movement, silence and waiting. Movement, silence and waiting. Mhm. So, for example, mm, when I'm facilitating a constellation, I look at two individuals in a constellation and I know that this person needs to say something to that person.
Mhm.
I have no idea what it is in that moment, but I can just sense the energy and I just know that something needs to be said. Mhm. And I'll walk up to one of the representatives and I say, "Please say the following." Mhm. At that point, I have no idea what needs to be said, but I have to start the movement. Mhm.
Right.
And then I wait. Mhm. And then the words just simply emerge. Mhm. And sometimes the first part of the sentence emerges, and I say that,
Right.
and have no idea what the second part of the sentence is going to be. And so I've developed that level of trust in the silence and in the nothingness. Mhm. Because when we try to figure out, when we try to control everything, then grace and a power that's greater than ourselves has no opportunity to become manifest. Because it's little old me who thinks I know something is trying to run the show.
Right. Okay.
And so the slowness of Tai Chi and the gift that that teacher gave me,
Mm.
one movement, hours per day for 2 whole weeks, got me to be comfortable with simplicity. Get really good at the first movement, and then the rest will flow, and the rest will flow, and the rest will flow. Mhm. And because I've developed such trust with not knowing,
Mhm.
I have no issue being in front of a group of 50 people and saying, "I don't actually know what needs to happen now. Give me a moment." And I'll just go and sit.
Mhm.
And there's nothing going on in my head. I'm not going, "Well, this I'm better. Let me strategize. What needs to happen?" Nothing. Just empty.
Right.
Wait. And I wait for an image. And I heard Bert Hellinger. I've heard him on his videos and also when I worked with him live as well.
Right.
I heard him several times just put his hand on someone's shoulder or their knee and says, "Give me a moment. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for an image to come."
Mm.
And that's exactly what I do. Mhm. So the client tells me the issue that they want to work with,
Mhm.
and I just get very quiet and I wait. And I wait for an image to come. Mhm.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I see someone standing there. Mhm. Sometimes I see their grandfather standing there, or I see their mother standing there. So I know, okay, that's the direction I need to go in.
Mhm.
Or sometimes I'll hear a sentence. And so I just go with what emerges from within me. But that requires waiting, 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 waiting. And for me, the greatest ally with all of this is simply being comfortable with not knowing,
I love it.
just not knowing. And when I do training, I give people a sentence to work with. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I've literally trained the cells in my own body and my own nervous system to have no response to that sentence. I just don't know. It doesn't panic. It
Mhm.
doesn't worry. Mhm. And so it really has been my, I guess, like a homeopathic remedy. I take a couple of drops every day of, "I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know,"
Right.
which helps me in so many other areas of my life because I'm self-employed. I don't know where my money's coming from to pay my mortgage next month. I have no
Exactly.
clue.
Right. I don't know either.
So if I'm in constant stress about that,
Mm,
that just contracts my whole system, which is not useful.
no,
And so being completely comfortable with not knowing, it really is the key to allowing flow to be present and to be there. Mm.
I love it. And, I'm going to ask you another question, but I just, I had a client a while back who wanted to know. And I said, I work with, I don't know.
Mm. Mm.
And oh my God, she lost it on me, right? It was like amazing. And I was, what a gift. Thank you. Because I said, and she was like, well, how can you not know? I went, because like you, I'm working with that. Right? So anyway,
Mhm.
moving on with because I'm gonna let our audience know right now that this is the first of probably many conversations we're going to have because there's so much depth to being with you, and I want to have you back again. But the thing I was going to ask you next was, with regards to the past life trap, right?
Oh, right.
You've shared some stories of clients being told they were evil or criminals in their past life, and why do you think some of us facilitators have lost the courage to say stop and instead allow this kind, I would consider it almost to be abusive to happen in a circle, just to say stop.
I don't find it almost abusive. I do find it abusive.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I find it unjust. I find it cruel. I find it destructive. I find it not useful at all.
mhm,
First of all, we're working systemically.
right.
Mhm. We're working systemically. And so there is this, people fail to understand that over many generations, we've all been indoctrinated by religion to believe that we're bad and we
Mm,
are in need of redemption.
mm,
Mhm.
mhm,
That we are bad, that we're in sinners, that we're in need of redemption. So it's either we need the redemption of some messianic figure, or we need to redeem ourselves through being incarnated many hundreds of times. There is a path of redemption.
right.
And this is being taught over and over and over again. It doesn't matter whether it's Catholicism or Protestantism or Islam or Hinduism. There is this path of redemption that somehow we've been taught that we are all essentially flawed, evil, wrong, and bad.
Mhm,
Mhm. And that belief needs to be challenged. And facilitators need to challenge that belief within themselves, because that's one of the reasons why it appears in constellations. Because
right, okay.
that's one of the prevailing belief systems. So if something is wrong in your life, that means you must have done something bad.
Mm.
And if you didn't do it yesterday, you did it in the past life. Or you are the demonic seed of your evil grandfather, or something like that.
Right.
So that's how the thinking really goes. There's that part of it.
Right.
But what I also said in what I wrote recently is that people lean towards drama because they cannot tolerate the mundane.
Mm. Do explain.
They they cannot tolerate the mundane. The mundane is my heart is hurting. I'll give you an example.
Okay, please do. Thank you.
Mhm. Straightforward, quite simple. Male client standing in front of his father, full of rage and anger. Mhm. And I said, I have a sentence for you to say to your father. And I said, say to your father, dear father, how I long for you. His initial response was to glare at me, which I wasn't surprised at. And I said, well, try it on like a pair of shoes, see if it fits or not.
Mm.
And then when he said it, there was a little boy standing there, longing for
Oh,
his father. And that rage served as a defense for his broken heart, for the deep longing in his heart.
right.
And so people often stretch towards the drama because they cannot tolerate the mundane, because it's in the mundane of just normal human relationships, a boy's longing for his father. Mhm.
Right.
That's where the wounding is. That's where the pain resides. I sometimes say to people at the beginning of my workshops, and I make it very clear, I am not forbidding screaming. And I want to say to the audience listening, I do not forbid screaming.
Right.
But, and there's a very important qualifier here, very often we use screaming to scream over something.
Mm,
So there's a feeling there that we absolutely don't want to feel,
got it.
which could be the devastation of having lost our mother, or the devastation of our child dying, or this devastation of being abandoned by our partner. Mhm.
Mhm.
And so there's something there that we just don't know how to metabolize, we don't know how to digest. And so we scream instead. Mhm.
Mm,
And so that deep pain of loss is part of the mundane. It's so ordinary, it's so normal, it's so everyday, it's part of the human experience. Mhm.
mhm.
And so people sometimes enter into constellations and think, well, if I can dress this up with screaming and shouting and drama and past lives and tragedy and fainting and falling on the floor and all that. And some of that stuff happens, and it's okay when it does happen
Right, right.
um, under certain circumstances. It's not that I forbid these things, but when that becomes the flavor of a workshop, I have question marks behind that. What here is really being avoided?
Right, exactly.
You know, because
Mhm.
people latch on to this belief and idea. The more drama, the more is actually happening. The more intense, the deeper the healing. It is not true. It is not true. Often, the quietest moments, the gentlest of movements, are the most profound, are the most profound. And that is when the hand of grace can enter into the space. And when that happens in a workshop,
Mhm.
when a healing sentence is stripped down, bare, vulnerable truth, mhm, it's not just the client who responds, the entire constellation responds. And I've witnessed it many times where everybody in the room takes a breath.
Mm.
That breath of
Yep.
relief. Oh,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
thank the gods that this has happened. Mhm. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the channels of the heart to open again. Mhm. And amidst drama and constellations that look and sound and feel more like psychodrama than these movements,
Mhm.
there's no space for that to take place.
Exactly.
There's no
Exactly.
space for that to take place.
There's no pause.
There's no pause.
There's no pause.
And,
Yeah.
and people can leave the workshop thinking they've had a great time, but what actually really happened?
Mhm.
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally one big millionth of a millionth believe what you're saying because, it's true. It's the hallmark, there's a hallmark of healthy solution-oriented constellation versus, one that is trauma drama, right? And
Right,
there's enough in the world now with the trauma drama, and
right,
there is
right,
no space for a lot of
mhm,
people that they don't even know what that means anymore. Right?
right,
And
right,
and and
right.
it's like, you know, music and language too, right? It's everything happens in the pause,
Everything
right?
happens in the pause, yeah.
Everything I've always believed that since I was a little girl, that things happen in the pause, and, through my yoga and my Tai Chi, I too have had the similar experience of you with regards to a teacher not taking me in yoga, and that's another story. But anyway, but the big thing is what I have come to learn very much so of which you've expressed is, that armoring of the heart so that when we armor, then, we project the drama rather than to allow for the penetration really for the pause to crack us open.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I was
Right.
gonna ask you, with regards to you made a very bold statement, and I love it, about not implicitly trusting representatives. And for a high achiever or a seeker, right? This is a relief to hear because how do we as facilitators distinguish between a representative's personal material and the actual system?
Mhm. Feel into the intention behind it.
Mm,
Is what they're saying interpretation,
mhm,
mhm, or are they communicating a feeling? Mhm.
mm,
There's a big difference between emotion and feeling.
mm.
Mhm.
Do explain.
Big difference between emotion and feeling. Well, mm, emotion can be dramatic. Mhm.
Mhm.
Emotion can be, I'm so angry with you. Mhm. Feeling is, I feel betrayed by what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Can be about the same event. So emotion can be the outward movement. It's more of an outward movement, and feeling is more of an inward movement. It's an
Okay.
inward movement.
Love it. Mhm. Mhm.
So the direction is different. Direction is different. So energy has different states. Mhm. Energy is either pushing or it's pulling, or it's in that open, allowing space. So I look at that with the representatives as well.
Okay.
Okay. Are they in allow, or are they pushing? It could be, because sometimes I've seen something which seems a little bit off to me, and then the client will teach me and say, "No, that's exactly how my grandmother was." Okay, then I'll work with it.
Mm.
So it's not as if I'm walking around the room trying to control everybody's behavior all the time, because that doesn't work either. But I'm just kind of alerting people to, what are we really doing here?
Mhm.
This is not a drama exercise. This is about creating an opportunity for deeper, quieter movements to take place. So, the general rule is emotion is an outward movement, feeling is an inner movement. Mhm.
Mm.
And so that's what I look for, and that is what I encourage. That is what I encourage.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And with that, I was just thinking in terms of the mirror of accountability, right? You mentioned the facilitators need their own therapists and, to hold them to account, right? So
Yeah.
how has having a mirror for your own self allowed your heart to develop over these years, many years?
Well, because I've always seen myself as being the principal student.
Okay.
I'm teaching what I'm learning.
Right.
And so I've never seen myself as not being a student.
Mm.
So I have not graduated yet.
Okay.
And I don't plan to graduate
Right.
either.
I
Mhm.
love it because I
I have no plans to graduate.
right.
Mhm. Just as
Same.
I also put out a video telling people we must get over this idea that there is this magical endpoint with healing in which everything is fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. I I'm so
It
with you.
doesn't exist. It is a complete illusion. Mhm. The healing is coming to peace with that which is broken.
Mm.
The healing is coming to peace with that which is broken. The healing is giving up all hope, giving up all hope that you'll ever have the childhood you had hoped for,
Exactly.
giving up that hope. Sometimes people get addicted to constellations. Well, if only I could manipulate this a little bit more. If only I can just have another constellation about my mother, and then maybe finally she'll give me what I want. And I've
Mm.
seen that over and over and over again. And I've done some of that myself. So a lot of what I talk about is really based on the things I have also done and the things I have also been trapped in
Right.
and had to wrest myself free from. So, and the other one as well, the other key is, and it's a really, really important question when we enter this or any healing work. What is my primary motivation here?
Mm.
Am I wanting to prove that I'm right, or do I want to come to peace with this?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
check in with that with my clients. What is your motivation in this moment?
Love it. Yeah.
Is it the world needs to know that's how my father was? Or I actually really want to find the possibility of coming to peace with him? Mhm. So that's coming from a completely different place.
Oh,
And we have to be
totally.
alert to that. We have to be alert to that as facilitators, also within ourselves. Mhm. And another reason why that movement is important for us as facilitators is if we're still stuck in needing to be right with our parents,
Mhm.
then we will play that out with our clients.
Mm.
We'll explain something to a client, they'll say, "That's not my experience," and we'll play the game of proving ourselves right to our client, which serves no one.
Exactly.
Because it's really not important. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Really not important.
Right.
It's really not important. And, everything can wait. Everything can wait. Even if you 100% know that you're right about something that you've seen in the system, it can wait.
Mm.
And if we give that space, then the client is more likely to come back. Mhm.
Mhm.
And then it might be revealed to them in the future. However, do not be tempted then to go to the client and say, "You see, I told you so.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
told you this
I
3 years
totally
ago."
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Just don't bother to
No,
go there. Just
don't go there, don't touch it.
don't go there, don't touch it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, we're in a world full of influence culture. So
Right.
how do we keep the language of the soul from being edited or I consider it to be stolen to serve darker agendas or even ego-driven facilitators?
You mean like the healing sentences from Family Constellations or
Well,
just
the
in
language of
general?
the soul, from being edited because you are, the language of the soul, right? So when I say that, I mean, how does it, because the world, like I say, is just crazy with influence about everything right now. The influencers,
Well,
right?
to be honest, I can't stop any of that from happening.
Right,
I cannot stop anyone quoting me out of context.
right.
I cannot stop anyone taking something that I've said and presenting it as their own teaching. I
Mhm,
can't stop any of that because I'm a
mhm,
public figure. I have lots of material out there, and I'm also aware, and I'm sure that this has happened to you as well.
mm,
Um, and I'll give a ridiculous an example. So I'm sitting in a workshop, and
mhm.
I say something like, "The apple over there is green." Student will put their hand up, and you said, "That mountain over there is brown. Why did you just say that?" You know,
What?
I'm like looking at them and going, I didn't say anything remotely like that."
Ah,
And
mhm,
we can't stop that from happening. People hear whatever they hear. Mhm.
mhm.
The other thing, too, if one of the listeners has this as a recording, they if they listen to this recording 3 or 4 times, they will hear something different every time they hear it.
Right.
As I have with my own teachers, one little gem will kind of hit me on the forehead and I go, "Wow, that's wonderful. Wow, that's wonderful." And then I'll listen to the recording again and I'll go, "Oh, how did I miss that the first time?" But I did. And then I heard another gem at a different time. So we only have control over what we say and how we say it. How
Mhm,
that's understood, how that's relayed to other people, how that's repeated to other people, how that's quoted. There's nothing we can do about it. Occasionally I take action. There was a facilitator who was advertising their own workshops,
mhm.
and they put out a flyer saying that they were trained by me.
Oh, okay.
And I emailed them and said, "Honey, sweetheart, you were not trained by me. You attended one of my workshops. Please remove that from your flyer." Because I don't want anyone to think or believe that I have certified you or sanctioned your work. That is
Exactly.
misrepresentation. Mhm.
Mhm.
Like, I never say I was trained by Bert Hellinger. I was not one of his full-time students. Mhm.
Right.
I attended one 7-day program with him. That's it. So it would be misrepresentation for me to say I was trained by Bert Hellinger. I
Mhm.
can say I did some training
Right.
for Hellinger.
Right.
Different wording to be clear.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I say I have done, workshop with you through, Anglin in her university, but I haven't been trained by you,
Mhm. No,
right?
exactly.
Exactly,
Mhm.
but I will be
Uh,
down the road.
so everything's going to be corrupted. Everything's going to be bastardized.
Right.
Um, and we have no control over that.
No,
No
of course.
control.
Of course, of
The
course.
only thing I can control are my words, my actions, my intentions. That's
Right.
it. That's the only thing I've got control over. Mhm.
Exactly.
And the
Exactly.
illusion that we can control it, it's just an illusion. I think that we're duty bound to speak up when we
Mhm.
see something that is not right,
Mhm.
see
Mhm.
something that's abusive, see something that feels unclean. But I will not gossip about individual facilitators, and I won't name anybody publicly.
No,
Um,
exactly. Same.
that I disagree with. It's just I just won't do that.
Mhm.
I will talk about the things that I know that have happened to call them out, but I don't point the finger in any particular direction.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that really is part of healing.
Mhm.
I might be wrong, but healing the collective, right? And I was just thinking your work, the healing of individuals and families and nations
Nations. Yeah.
is more relevant than ever. And are you
Mhm.
seeing these same distortions happening on a national level where we blame individuals for systemic challenges?
Yes, in my own country, the United Kingdom,
Mhm.
uh, migrants are currently being blamed for everything.
Mm.
So yes, we've invented a new perpetrator, mhm,
Mhm.
to blame. So yeah, and then when I look at the world, there are some countries that are very good at looking at their history and their past and their shadow,
Mhm.
and there are some countries that are appalling at it.
Right.
My country, the United Kingdom, is one of them. Mhm. People seem to be incapable of having very honest conversations about colonialism, about massacres, about slavery, etc., 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 etc.
Right.
But when I look at my brothers crossing the continent, the Germans, mhm, very open about their dark history, very willing to talk about their dark history.
Mm.
They put a Holocaust memorial right in the middle of their capital city. You cannot avoid it.
Mhm. Yeah, right, exactly.
They put it right there, right in the middle of their capital city. Mhm.
Mhm.
And so here in London, we've got all of these statues to generals and conquerors and people like that, all from our history. I'm not suggesting we tear those statues down because that's also telling the story of history.
Right.
But do we have a monument to slavery in London? No, we
No?
don't. No, we don't.
Wow.
And so there needs to be an equilibrium here. Mhm.
Mhm.
So that's what I see systemically.
Okay.
And so countries that want to avoid their history, want to avoid being honest about their past, want to avoid being honest about their present, tend to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. And so that's what I see from a systemic point of view.
Mm. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. And our time is coming to a close here for this first precious.
Went quickly. It went quickly.
It did.
Mhm.
But before I let you go or let you leave me or whichever way it works here, what Shavasti, what is your advice for the sovereign practitioner who want to work with love and integrity, but really feel drowned out by the noise of the
Can,
drama
can,
based healing
can you
world?
can you pause for a second? desperately need to go to the toilet.
You
And then
just go. Yeah,
just,
just go
yeah,
and we'll
ask
just
that question.
continue. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's going to be a very interesting time with Shavasti because we're going to be doing not just one, but possibly a few, maybe several of these conversations. And so I'm asking that you stay tuned to the next one and the next one. And I will definitely keep you posted on when these will happen. But there is so much to be learned from him. And just, I am so grateful today and for the next times that we do get together, because I know for all of you who are out there listening today, that it is going to be, I would say, more than an eye opener. It's going to be a heart opener. And there's really no one better that can do this. We're talking the language of the soul. And so, yeah. Okay. So that question I will ask you again here. Yeah.
Mhm.
What is your advice for the sovereign practitioners who want to work with love and integrity, but feel drowned out by the noise of the drama based healing world?
Mhm. Okay. First of all, your request to the universe is teach me how to love.
Mm,
Mhm. Mhm.
okay.
Be alert to not buying into a love mask because that's
Oh,
not authentic.
okay.
Yeah. I used to walk around with a love mask. I
Do
used to be
explain.
I used to be a new age bunny.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
everything I was a light chaser. And that was
Mm,
because I was avoiding my pain. I was really
mm,
avoiding my mhm. And so really to stay sovereign and grounded, being grounded, being grounded, being grounded, and knowing the authority of your own truth. And knowing the authority of your own truth is not about being convinced of your own opinions. There's a difference there,
right.
okay? Because opinions change, and they do, and mine
Mm-hmm.
have as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm, mhm,
Very interesting, about the new age thing. Many years ago, I was in a very ruptured relationship and I was being stalked and my life was being threatened continually. And I ended up with a wonderful psychologist in Vancouver. And at one point he said to me, and I'll never forget it. I love him and I love what he said. He said, you really kind of subscribe to a lot of new age stuff, Collie. And I was like, well, yeah, kind of, sort of. And
mhm,
this is like 20 some years ago. And,
mhm, mhm.
and he said to me, well, I just want to let you know that one day New it and it goes, "Newage is going to be like sewage.
Mhm.
New age
Right.
is going to be like sewage, and it will take you down
Mhm.
faster than you can imagine if you continue." And he said, "I'm not telling you what to do,"
Right.
but he said, "You," and exactly what you said, I needed to be able to have penetration of the heart rather than armoring. I needed to be able to feel.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I remember being in a taxi driving back from somewhere one day, and all of a sudden I started to feel tears streaming down my face, and I touched it, the tear, and I could feel it was warm. And I told
Mhm.
him that the next time I went to him, and he said, "Oh," he said, "this is beautiful. You're starting to unthaw."
Right.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
anyway, our time for today is, and when you were removed, I just let our audience know that this is the first, and we will be back with
Okay.
you. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
look forward to it, Collie.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So I just
I
wanted
have
to
to say
say,
that I've had really a superb time with you.
oh,
Um,
thank you.
really superb time with you. You've created such a warm and welcoming space for me to express myself as myself, and I felt very welcomed by you.
Oh, well, yeah. I just wanted to say thank you for having the courage to tell the truth with kindness today. And you've reminded us that the temple is built on integrity, not energy. And,
Right.
the energy is inclusive, but, for those of us, who are tired of the drama and are looking for a place of safety and honor and deep work. This is why I am opening this to you and opening, my heart and the audience to receive you again. So I know you are here to do the real work with real promising boundaries that are so great. And Shavasti, thank you from not just the bottom, but the top of my heart and
Mhm.
soul for being a champion of truth. And
Thank you very much indeed.
yeah, and I just
That-
wanted to, allow for you to take a few minutes here to just let people know how they can reach you. I will be posting this with your information, but I like people to hear it from your words,
okay. Well, I have a website. I actually
right?
have two websites. So my primary website is familyconstellations.net,
Okay,
and it's .net. Don't go to .com. That's the competition. So familyconstellations.net with an S, familyconstellations.net, or you can go to shavasti.com as well. I have workshops worldwide,
right?
several locations in Europe, North Africa, including Egypt and Morocco, Malaysia and
Wow.
Australia, and occasionally in North America as well. Um, but I'm really happy to go anywhere. If you have a group of people who want to do this work,
Hmm.
and the people are there and it makes financial sense, I will come.
Oh, beautiful.
Happy to do so. Happy to do so. If you like what I have to say, if you like the sound of my voice, I have a 5-hour audiobook called
Oh,
Teachings from an Awakened Heart. Teachings from an Awakened Heart. It's
wonderful.
11, it's 11 chapters available on both of my websites. So Teachings from an Awakened Heart. And then also two lots of free information on my YouTube channel. Just basically, if you type in my name, Shavasti, anywhere, you'll find me. So I've
Right.
got a YouTube channel, which is called Shavasti, my Facebook group, Shavasti Family Constellations. So yeah, so pretty easy to find. And I want you to find me. I want to be found.
Absolutely. And I'm going to spread this far and wide so that you are found because you are so, I'm so touched. I have looked forward to this for so long. And the
Mhm.
fact that you are here with me and with my audience and our audience, I'm truly honored. I really
And I look forward to coming back, Colli. Thank you
you
very much.
you will. We will connect. We will make it happen for sure. And this is so exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Bye-bye.
right, my
Ciao.
love. Thank you.
Thank you.